Hello Book Munchers, and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. I'm starting today with the BookTube newbie tag questions that I'm going to be answering, and I will link the original creator of this tag down below. I'll be doing that with all the tags, but just a little bit more information about me before we get into these questions. My name's Milena. Nice to meet you. I'm 19, about to turn 20 pretty soon, so there's that. I'm in uni, and I just found out about BookTube a few days ago, and I immediately thought to myself, I gotta join, I gotta do this. So here I am with my brand new channel. I'm also an avid reader, as you can probably tell, and I also write. So I will be doing the authortube newbie tag questions in the next video. But for now, let's get into these questions. So, question number 1. Why did you start this channel? Okay, so main reason, and one that I kind of just touched on, I just found out about the bookish community on YouTube, and I immediately thought to myself that I wanted to join. And this is mostly because most of the friends that I have don't read the same books that I do, and most of them don't even, some of them don't even read in English, and so obviously they don't read what I read. So I really would love to have a place where I can kind of gush about the books that I love, why I love them, and everything that I'm reading to a community that also reads the books that I read. So that's number 1, the community. Number 2, I've actually been on a bit of a reading hiatus, not from reading, but from reading full-size novels, and especially physical books. And this is because the last couple of years we've been moving around, and so I haven't been able to buy more physical books, and I really only been reading short stories that I can find online, and that's been my reading. But I want to get back to reading new releases, getting back to reading books that are trending and whatever, and reading full-size novels again. That would be awesome. And also keeping track of my reading is something that I'm interested in, so that's what this YouTube channel is going to be about. As well as I'm going to be talking about a lot of different stuff on my writing. I'm about 4 scenes away from finishing the first draft of my first novel. Oh my god. So I'm really excited about that. I can kind of take you guys with me on the journey to self-publishing. And so yeah, really excited. Next question. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Avid. So one of the things that I'm really excited about is I have books that are in other languages that I can, mostly Spanish, that I can read and then kind of share that information with you guys, maybe that you wouldn't have been able to receive before because you don't speak the language of the book. So for example, one of the books in my November to be read pile is in Spanish. It's a book on tips for reading, and so I'll be talking about that more in upcoming videos. But yeah, and just sharing information with you guys about not just sources in English but in other languages as well. I can also talk about learning languages if that's something that you guys are interested in. And another thing that I'm excited about doing is kind of integrating what I'm studying in university into. So I'm studying finance, and so I have a lot of books on business, marketing, finance, etc. So I can do not just the fiction books that I have, but I also have non-fiction books in terms of those topics that I'd love to kind of read and give you guys some tips on from the books that I read. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm most excited about. And obviously fantasy, definitely gonna do a lot of fantasy, so stick around if those are the things that you're interested in. next question. What are you most excited for about this new channel? So I already touched on this several times now. One of the things that I'm most excited about is being able to have a conversation with people who love reading and who read as much as I do and who like to read the same books that I read. And so that's a type of conversation that I don't really get in real life, in school, and with my friends, because again, they don't really read the books that I read. So that's, I think, something that I'm really excited about. And yeah, community, building a community, guys. Next question. Why do you love reading? Biggie. As I love reading, but to put it in words, okay, here we go. First reason's gotta be escapism, let's be honest. I think that's kind of one of the biggest appeals of reading, especially fiction. It's just a really great way, like you open up a cover and all of a sudden you're in a world with dragons and magic and maybe vampires and who knows what else, right? Or maybe it's the same kind of modern universe, but it's a whole different story that maybe you've never experienced before. So it's really awesome in that way. It's the best form of travel, really, let's be honest. So that's the first reason. Second reason is, and this one's a bit more recent, because I'm a student and all, learning. Hello. One of the easiest ways to kind of learn something new is you pick up a book, you start reading, and all of a sudden you are knowledgeable about something that you weren't knowledgeable about beforehand. So it's the best way, the easiest way, and probably the cheapest way as well to read, to learn new things, right? And that's always a plus, especially when you're obviously trying to learn something new, which, like I am. So yeah, number one, escapism to other worlds and experiencing other experiences. And number two, learning. So all these nonfiction books that I read, lots of like self-help books, and especially for uni learning. So those are my two main reasons. And also, it's a really great way to learn a new language. Obviously, I'm not reading novels in a bunch of other languages, but you know, when you start learning a new language, picking up children's books is a really great way to start picking up vocabulary. So, well, that falls under learning, I suppose, as well. But yeah. Anyway, next question. What book or series got you into reading? Oh, I don't actually remember. I started reading very, very, very young. So we talked about before how, you know, books are a great way to learn a language. So I actually started reading when I was about 3 or 4 years old, because I was learning English. So English is my second language. It's my primary language, but it's not my first language. I started reading in Spanish first. So I moved to the States when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and I was put into a ESL program, which is English as a second language. And the teacher that I had taught English through reading and creative writing, which is also how I got started with writing, and I can talk about that in the next video. But so I started reading at that age, and it was really just a way for them to teach me English. And so I started reading lots of children's books, really. Let's see, some of the series that I used to read. Lots of the level 1, 2, 3 reading type books, a lot of books that had like new vocabulary, and then in the back they would have like flashcards. I still have my flashcards, which are the first words that I learned in English, and I can show you guys that at some point. That'd be really cool. But yeah, let's see what other series is. Scholastic was a big thing back then. I don't know if schools still do that. I think they do. The whole Scholastic book fair where you walk in and you want to buy absolutely everything, but you can't. Another thing that my school did is a summer reading challenge, and so they would partner with local restaurants, and one of the restaurants that they partnered with was Applebee's, and so for every 5 books that you read, you would get a free dessert at Applebee's. And I remember I would be showing up with like a list of 40 books, and they would look at each other like, oh my goodness. They would only give me 1 free dessert, even though they were technically supposed to give me like, how many? I don't know, 8 for 40 books? Applebee's owes me free desserts. I'm gonna let it go, but y'all know, okay? I'm not salty about it or anything, but it's okay. Let's see. Oh, another series. I think I have the books right here with me. I think this is the My School is Cool series of books by Dan Gutman, and it features the main character AJ. These are really short. The text is really big, right? So it's for kids, and really simple English, and it really absolutely hilarious. So these books are great. I read a ton of them. And once I started reading novel-sized, 2 of the series that I kind of encouraged me to kind of keep eating books at the speed that I was eating them. The Canterwood Crest series, and I think they're called the Wildcats series. I'm going to show them both to you right now. I have them both down here. So this is the Canterwood Crest series by Jessica Burkhart. It's all about horses, and so I was really into that as a kid. And then this is the Warrior Cats series by Erin Hunter, and so that's this one. It's all about cats in the wild. And so those are 2 of those series. They're very long series, like 20 or so books that I own of each series. So I'll just put these right here. But yeah, so those are some of the series and some of the things that kind of encouraged me to keep reading as a kid. But they certainly weren't the first ones, and I really don't remember the ones that got me reading initially, because it was a learning thing, not a really, I mean, I enjoyed it, definitely, that's why I continued, but yeah. Anyway, next question. Did I skip one? No, I didn't. Okay. Anyway, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So, I'm new to BookTube as a reader and as a content creator. So, but I have been watching a lot, like binging BookTube in the last couple of days. I can just kind of read some of the ones that I had that are in my history, but ones off the top of my head: Ariel Bissett and Peruse Project. I'm going to read out some other names. Give me a second. I'm going to read out the names and I'm going to ask my question. Right, so I've watched a couple of videos of Morgan Long. Seems really cool. I've also been seeing a lot of videos of Books with Chloe, and she is awesome. Her makeup is on point every single video, which, oh my god, someone please teach me. But other than that, let's see, who else? Abigail's Cup of Tea is one. And let's see, A Clockwork Reader. Ooh, she seems pretty cool. Author Sarah Sutton, she's on authortube. And Books with Emily Fox. And so those are some of the booktubers that I've been kind of binging the last couple of days. So my question to them, especially as a student who is in university, and I'm about to start my 2nd trimester now. So my question is, how the heck do you balance it all? You know, consistency is a thing that sometimes goes up in the air when you have finals. So we'll kind of have to see how that goes. I start my new trimester in a couple of days, and I know in 3 weeks I already hit the first exam period. So that's my question. Just time management, I suppose. How do you do it? Anyway, next question. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? We literally just talked about this. Consistency. Yeah. Not because it's hard for me to be consistent, just because sometimes I'll have a professor just be like, oh, by the way, you gotta read, you know, this textbook, and I'll be reading a textbook instead of, you know, a fiction book. So, or things like that, or I have to study for an exam, etc., etc. So yeah, time management is going to be a thing. But what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be batch filming a lot of videos. So you may see me in the same shirt in 2 videos, like one after the other. That's because they were all filmed on the same day, so but they were uploaded on different days. So that's one of the things that I'm thinking of in order to kind of combat the whole, I don't know, like how the situation's going to be during finals or whatever. I'm just going to film all the videos beforehand so I can focus on studying when I have to. So yeah, but we'll see how that goes. Next question. When did you start reading? We also talked about this one. I started reading when I was very young. I was like 2 or 3 years old, as a way to learn English. Yeah. Next question. Where do you read? Anywhere and everywhere. But mostly, I suppose if we're talking about platform, I mostly read on my phone. Ebooks. I have a Kindle Unlimited thing that is awesome, and I can talk about that in a different video. I highly recommend it. It's great for your bank account, considering how much I read. And also I've been reading just short stories I can find literally anywhere online. Like sometimes fan fiction, sometimes original works, Tumblr, Wattpad, sometimes maybe, rarely. Archive of Our Own is big because there's a lot of works on there that are like huge. They're novel length. So that's what I've mostly been doing the last couple of years, is just reading online, blogs and stuff. So that's why I want to get back to the books, right? But location-wise, everywhere. Because it's on my phone, it's so mobile. I mean, nowadays I only read in the house because I'm only in the house, or at my grandma's house, because we also go over there. But in more detail, in bed, at my desk, at the dinner table. And then, yeah. But when we weren't in quarantine, I was also reading at school. So if a professor was late, or I was waiting, or more likely I was 30 minutes early, because I'm that kind of person, I would just pull out my phone and start reading. Or, yeah, things like that. If I'm in line, so on and so forth. Everywhere. Anywhere. Mostly on my phone. Next question. What kind of books do you like to read? I mentioned a few genres, so I'm big on fantasy fiction. I'm also really big on like romance, romance, adult books, and in terms of nonfiction, I read mostly self-help and business-oriented books, or language, like learning other languages. Other genres include, let's see. Yeah, no, most of them are fantasy. Some of them are sci-fi, but mostly fantasy. Drama. Some drama ones. Other than that, yeah. So, ta-da! That concludes my first ever video on BookTube. Woo! Celebration with confetti. And other than that, like this video if you liked the video, to appease the YouTube gods. Also hit the subscribe button and hit the bell if you want to be notified when I release the next videos. I'm already planning them. I'm probably going to film them. It's probably going to be in the exact same shirt, so batch filming is a thing, you guys. So go and check that out if it's already up. If not, you already hit the bell, so you will be notified when the next one comes out. Ta-da! That's what it's for. Other than that, keep on munching those books, you guys. I will keep on munching with you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video.